Test, 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 test. Hi, OP friends. I'm finally back. This is my first video back since my video vlog series ended. I actually really missed it. That was how I started every day. I plopped myself down like, hi, OP friends, and I didn't get to do that. So it was a little bit sad. So it's crazy that it's only been 5 days because it actually does feel like forever. Yesterday, I sat down and I recorded an hour-long video. And I hated it so much that I scrapped it and decided to record again today. I was just feeling very tired and spacey and uncomfortable. Today, I fixed that. I have my favorite energy drink, so I feel a little bit more awake and alert and like I can talk. Because I hadn't done it in so long, I just felt very self-conscious. I am actually a fairly private person in that if I have to take a phone call, I will take the phone call and leave the room or go somewhere where I can have privacy because I'm very sensitive to the energy in the room. Other people being there just throws me off and makes me even more self-conscious. My husband is in the same room with me. He is just on his laptop doing his own thing with his headphones in, but that still affects me and my energy. And so I think I was overthinking that a lot. Today, I'm a little bit more comfortable. So I wonder if other INFPs relate. It's like, in privacy, we can just be our full, weird, authentic selves and not have the energy of others confining us or affecting us. That is something I definitely deal with. The addition or removal of people absolutely changes the entire experience. I've always been very sensitive to that. So I have some very exciting news today. Team 2 got back to me with their typing results. I have the original group 1, which consisted of 4 individuals, and then now I have team 2 of 4 individuals, and the only person that overlaps the 2 teams is Binyamin. I wanted to share what they came back with in the first typing results. The first one was MF, FINE, consume, sleep, blast, play, which would make me an INFP. The second person came back with MF, NEFI, consume, play, sleep, blast, which would make me an ENFP. The third person, MF, NEFI, consume, play, blast, sleep, or sleep, blast. And that again would make me an ENFP. So, and lastly, MF, FENE, play, blast, sleep, consume, or play, consume, blast, sleep. That would make me an ESFJ jumper. So that was a very interesting typing report to read. INFP, 2 ENFPs, and an ESFJ jumper. I'm not sure that it's good to type people based on one video. I am glad that I have other YouTube videos for them to access just to get a little bit more range. I think that all of us are, I shouldn't speak for all of us. I am very sensitive to the audience that I'm speaking to. And so depending on who I'm speaking to, I will change what I say and how I want to appear and come across and be perceived. I knew that I was going to be assessed on my answers, and so it just put a lot of pressure on me. I'm pretty confident that I am NE savior. That NE just goes out into a million different places and can't narrow down. There was a lot of uncertainty in what I should talk about. There were a lot of instances where I just grabbed for the easiest topic because I didn't want to, keep them waiting. And so I reached for topics that I had just talked about in my previous videos because it was just fresh on my mind. And I feel like maybe that contaminated the results in a way. Prior to them, I actually sent in a completely different set of video responses to a typing team in Australia. They came back to me with MF, SIFI, sleep, consume, blast, play, and that would make me an ISTJ jumper. And so for the longest time, if you watch my videos, it's basically me rambling about how I am a SIFI, picking and choosing all of the things in my life that aligned with that typing to come to terms with it. But I have to say my 30 days were very interesting. I thought I was so many different things, and my videos are basically me convincing myself that I am that, which is, half embarrassing, but also half like fascinating from a documented perspective. I am glad that I documented all of this. I know that so many of you go through the exact same process. You think you're one thing and then you think you're another thing, and the only difference is that I'm documenting this. Okay, so with the results that I just got back, they watched the same video as Binyamin's first team, but a lot of them noted that they also watched a lot of my other videos on YouTube, which they said was helpful. They came back with 4 different types. At this point, I feel like I am difficult to type, or I am possibly unintentionally misleading some people, and it might have something to do with the fact that you become like the top 5 people that you hang out with the most. I'm an extremely introverted individual. Like, I don't hang out with anyone, especially since the start of COVID. That was like my excuse to not have to hang out with anybody, and I haven't hung out with anybody really. The only people that I hang out with in my life are my husband, he's an INTJ, and then also my family. My brother is an INTP, my mom is an INFJ, my dad is an ENTP, and that is really my entire social circle right now. The person I hang out with the most, my husband, I'm with him 24/7. We work together from home. We live together, you know, like we're just always together. I think that he has a very large influence on me, the way that I probably talk and the things that I consume. And so I feel like that probably comes out too. Individual number 1 came back with FF. That's the first FF that came out, by the way. That's a lie. My friend John Yuke from Game Tree, he has pegged me as an FF, but aside from him, everybody else has come back with MF. Individual number 1 came back with FF, FISI, sleep, blast, consume, play. That would make me an INFP jumper. I've always identified with being an INFP. I am an INFP in Myers-Briggs. Being an INFP jumper is not that big of a stretch, so I can deal with that. Individual number 2 came back with MF, NEFI, consume, sleep, play, blast. And that, of course, is an ENFP. 2 people have now come back with INFP, and 3 people have now come back with ENFP. Individual number 3, she came back with FF, FESE, play, blast, consume, sleep. And that would make me an ENFJ jumper. So ENFJ jumper, I mean, that's interesting. I don't hate it. I get along really well with ENFJs. And lastly is Binyamin, because he did overlap on the 2 teams, and he seems to have backtracked a little bit. His assessment now is XF, so he's unsure of my sensory modality, whether it's masculine or feminine, but he seems to be sure that my extroverted decider is feminine. So he came back with XF, and then instead of 2 specific functions, he came back with OE and DE, which is extroverted observer, and then DE, extroverted decider. And then for my animals, he actually came back with play, consume, sleep, blast. Okay, so that is the summary of the 8 types that I received. And here's the most exciting part about it. In his message to me, he says, we have a meeting with Dave in 2 weeks, and we're going to try and figure out what we're doing wrong. He should give us insight into how to type you better and probably reveal your type. So that is super exciting, you guys. This whole journey has been sort of building up to the moment where I can get typed by Dave and Shan. And if you haven't watched my previous videos, the only thing stopping me from that is roadblocks to getting there. For example, you have to have been a paying class member for 60 days. You have to make an appointment for the typing, and they're always backed up. And so it's just been on the back burner, but cool. It seems like with Binyamin's help, I'm going to be able to sort of go straight and see what they think. I appear very calm about it right now, but make no mistake, I am freaking excited about this. That is really going to wrap up everything that I have been dying to know as far as my identity in OP. I wanted to share a few of the comments that they wrote in my second typing report. One person said that I have a very DE vibe in the typing video, but in my other videos, I'm definitely DI. And another person says, typing video seems FE, but other videos are FI. So yes, if you watch me in a span of all my videos, I am definitely FI. And I think it's interesting that I happen to come across very FE in my typing video. I was probably just overthinking my audience and overthinking the situation. Perhaps it was the typing video that was just a little bit misleading. Another person mentioned that it might have to do with the fact that my videos are one way. If I were having a conversation with someone else, I would be very different and I would talk about different things, and I'm very sensitive to people's energy. In different situations, I adapt, which is why I think my last video on day 30 is probably one of the best videos to look at as far as typing me, because my brother was feeding me questions live, and he was also able to take my answers and to shape follow-up questions that he had. I thought that was probably one of my most authentic videos. A few comments also few comments also say that I talk more about things and chaos rather than people. And I just wanted to comment on that. I want to distinguish that I never upset about things and chaos. I don't think I am upset at myself and my own standards. And also I'm really, really sensitive to when other people, when they reprimand me or they judge me or they get irritated or annoyed at me because of the way that I am not too good at handling my things. I think that is what gets to me. If that's the way that I'm interpreting it, it's really my FI that makes me really upset at my own chaos. It's not the chaos itself. My FI is judging myself and being upset at myself and not living up to my own standards of what I should be able to do. And also other people being disappointed in me or upset with me is what really, really, really affects me. So even going back to that one video where I was crying, and that one is called Why Criticism is So Hard. I mistook that for being upset at the chaos, but really at the core of it, it wasn't the chaos that I was crying about. It was the criticism. It was my husband saying those things and me feeling like I am not good enough. I should be better than that. And that I am not living up to my own standards, disappointing someone that I care about. I think that is what really, really upset me. It wasn't the actual chaos. Just to unpack that point a little further, just like one example is my phone is kind of a mess. My desktop is a mess and I'm aware of it. I'm not proud of it, but I just don't have any way to organize my things. And so things are just all over the place. I'm sure that many people, if they looked at my phone, there's just notifications everywhere. It's not organized, but I know where everything is. And you know, you can just like drag down and search anyway. So I don't really care too much about organizing it because I can find whatever I'm looking for. But I am very secretive about it. Like, I don't like it when other people look at my phone or look at my desktop. I do take great lengths to sort of hide that. And it's not because I don't want them to think that I'm disorganized. It's I don't want to deal with their comments. I don't want to deal with them saying, whoa, you should organize that. How do you find it? It's like, I don't want to hear that. And that is why I'm secretive about that side of my life. So again, just from my perspective, it's not the chaos that gets me down. I don't care about the chaos. It's other people caring about the chaos and reacting to that badly in front of me that really upsets me. Also, I got some comments saying that play energy is probably not high because I talk about being a shitty friend and not interacting with people. And I just wanted to comment just from my perspective. I think that what holds me back from, being more sociable and hanging out with people is really, again, myself. I always feel left out. I want to interact more with people. I love, being with my friends, but it's like I hold myself back. I tell myself, oh, I'm just an introverted person, and so I don't want to be around people, but that is a lie. I do care about my friends and my deep social connections, and without it, I go into a very, very dark place. But I think that I am able to possibly use my play energy to do videos like this and to be active on social media. And without doing stuff like this, I do feel very, very, very lonely. I say in my typing video that I am a shitty friend. Am I okay with being a shitty friend? No, of course I don't want to be a shitty friend, but I just can't get out of my head and I can't stop feeling overwhelmed about making plans or showing up. All of those little steps that overwhelm me and make me like lazy about doing it. And if I feel really shitty that day, or I feel like I look fat and bloated or something, that is enough to make me cancel plans. It's so stupid, but it's true. It's true. And if I'm not feeling good about myself, I just project into other people that, oh, they must be staring at my bloated face today, or staring at like if I have a huge pimple on my face that day. It's all of these things that I think about myself and I project onto other people, and then it just becomes this nasty, toxic loop in my head. And then I just tell myself I shouldn't go out. I shouldn't go out. And it's those types of thoughts that plague me and keep me from interacting with people. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to interact with people. Also, in Binyamin's notes on the second round, he said that there was a lot of bird chirping. Bird chirping. What is bird chirping? And then he also said in my modality, extroverted decider, he said that there was cat energy. What is cat energy? I'm not really sure what bird chirping and cat energy is, but I think I'm going to ask him. I don't know. They sound interesting. I wanted to share with you guys a little bit more personal things that I wouldn't normally share here. And maybe that'll give you guys a better idea of my thought processes when I'm not really speaking to an audience. I thought the best way to do this would be to just share some of the journaling snippets that I have. Those are probably the most authentic parts of me. Over the weekend, I did some mushrooms. If you watched my video, INFP therapy, you know that I'm a huge advocate for psilocybin mushrooms, especially for mental health and for depression. I've tried everything: SNRIs, SSRIs, stimulant medication, sleep medication, and just years of therapy and counseling. And all of that has been such an incredibly slow process. Obviously, it's helpful to have someone objectively sitting there and helping you to untangle your thoughts, but nothing has worked for me in the way that psilocybin mushrooms have. If you're interested in hearing my views about that, you can go back and watch that video. But anyway, this past weekend, I actually did 3 grams of mushrooms, and I wanted to share with you what I wrote down while I was tripping. So just to preface it, I think that every single mushroom trip has been so different for me, depending, of course, on who I'm with and what I'm thinking about, my environment, set and setting, all of that, and my mental state. But I think one common thing is that usually I come out of it with some type of gold nugget or a diamond. And regardless of what happens, I always feel lifetimes wiser after the trip. I think because of that mentality, I put a lot of pressure on the mushrooms. It's almost like as soon as I start feeling it, I'm like, where's the gold? Where's the nugget? And that's not a good mentality to have. I think you should really just let go and let yourself feel and process whatever it is that you need to. I was lying in the grass with a pen and paper and just not able to write anything for the longest time. And I was getting really, really increasingly frustrated with myself. I kind of used that as a starting point. My notes say, it's a waste to sit here with a scattered mind. How do I narrow? How do I focus on a singular thing? This is my time to process, and yet I fight so hard against it. So obviously that's my NE, right? I'm impatiently trying to extract this gold nugget from the experience, but I can't because my mind is just going off in a million different directions. And how am I supposed to unpack and unravel an issue in my life or come across some type of epiphany if my mind is just literally like static? I was frustrating myself because I couldn't focus. What plagues me recently? Oh, the same thing as always, myself, my own discomfort in my own skin. I'm cursed in an endless loop of over-awareness of self to no end. If others only knew how lucky they are to not have to embody this type of agony. Am I really just the result of faulty mental wiring or function stacks? Will awareness ever allow me to escape it completely? I've always said that I'm overly self-aware to the point where it's detrimental to me. I overthink things and project that overthinking onto other people. And so because of that, I become very, very insecure, and it really affects my self-esteem, I guess. And that is my own wiring and my own faulty thoughts doing that. And I'm aware of it. And the fact that I'm aware of it makes it even worse, because if I'm aware of it, why can't I figure it out and get out of it? But I really do think that it's because of the way that I'm wired. And I do feel resentful at times that I am wired that way, and that I have to feel that, and I have to watch other people go through life so easily and not be bogged down by their own thoughts and their own insecurities and their own bad feelings about themselves. The pen and paper hold me back. What's its use if my mind is already 3 well-formulated paragraphs ahead anyway? This is the part where my mind was just continuing to race, and it was like, what's the point of even writing it? Writing it is so slow. Whatever is going on out here, getting it out with my fingers onto paper is so slow. It's so slow. And so I was also getting really frustrated about that. And so I sat with that for a while, not knowing what to write about. And I was able to synthesize the entire experience to this one line. And this is the last line that I wrote before I just closed my notebook. And it's this: I don't have a problem with the simulation. I have a problem with my avatar. And I wanted to just expand on that a little bit. From my perspective, I think that I really don't have a problem with the simulation. And the simulation out here, you can make opportunities for yourself. You can engross yourself in drama if you must. You can invent things. You can learn things. You can do anything in the simulation. That is not what I'm concerned about. What holds me back in life from interacting with the simulation and from partaking in the simulation is my avatar and how I'm unhappy with it. And when I say my avatar, I am talking about my appearance and my mind and the way I perceive things. It's my experience of the simulation. That is my avatar. Because I'm not happy with my avatar, I can't enjoy the simulation. And I've said this before in other videos, but I've always felt that it would be so much easier if we were all just floating around as minds and souls rather than having to be confined to these physical forms. With these physical forms, it just gives us restriction, differences, and judgment. That's how I've always felt about my physical form. I wish I didn't have to take care of it, and I wish I didn't have to maintain it, and I wish that other people didn't judge others based on our physical form. And considering we all have a physical form, something about it just has always felt very foreign to me. A lot of my insecurities do stem from my physical form, because if I am not happy with my physical form and it's not lining up with the idealized version that I have in my head, then the way that I experience the simulation is going to be affected, because all I'm thinking about, rather than enjoying what's out here, is how unhappy I am with my avatar and how I'm projecting onto other people. Oh, if I see myself this way, then they must be seeing me this way too. That prevents me from interacting with other people because of fear of judgment. It's all in here. It's all in here. So my theory is that if I can change my avatar to something that I'm happy with, then all of those thoughts disappear and I will be able to enjoy the simulation. And I want to distinguish that it's not so much that I care about fitting in and what others think. I care so much about what I think. And if what I think is what I project onto other people, what they're thinking about me, then it's just this endless loop that I can't get out of. My theory is, if I can fix the things that I'm insecure about, then I don't have to worry about that anymore in the sensory realm. And if I can erase that from my mental wiring, then I no longer have to deal with it and worry about it and obsess with it. Since high school, I've had like a list of plastic surgery procedures that I've always wanted to get. People will always say body positivity, be happy with who you are. But in my opinion, if your physical form is affecting your mental state so much to the point where it affects your ability to live in the simulation, then why wouldn't you just change it? It's a one-time thing where you change it and then you just don't have to worry about it anymore, right? So for me specifically, I am 99% sure that if I were to get the procedures that I want, it's not going to be something where it leads to more and more and more and more things that I want to change about myself. No, if I can just permanently delete from my mental script the things that I'm insecure about, then it's gone forever and I don't have to deal with it anymore. Just to be like totally transparent with you guys, the procedures that I want are, I just want to like fix this nose bump thing. Like I want to fix that. And then also I would like to fix my eye bags. And then I think that the reason why I feel like I am fat is because of like my cheeks. And I realized that it's really because as you age and gravity pulls down, it's just that my face is like starting to sink lower. And so it creates this like fat over here, but it's not really fat. It's just my skin sagging down due to age. And so if I can just like pull that up and take care of this and this, that is all I care about. And I feel like that would literally change my life, like change my life. I don't have to be self-conscious about being in pictures. I don't have to be self-conscious about talking to someone straight on. This is a real thing. I feel insecure when I talk to someone one-on-one, like just straight face to face. I would much prefer sitting side by side, just talking while we're looking at the same thing. And it's because I'm so insecure about my eye bags and my cheeks. And it's stupid, but that is the stuff I worry about. If I can just fix that, I don't have to worry about it anymore. And like, what an enormous burden it would lift on my life, you know? That is something that I would like to do and that I am saving money for. I don't really care if other people say, you don't need to do that, don't send the wrong message. It's like, I don't care. It's like, I want to do it for me. I'm not doing it for anybody else. If I can do that for me, I would just live a much happier, carefree life. And that's all I want. So it is one of those things that I want to be totally transparent about. And when I do finally, just save the money and go get the procedures done, I will totally document the entire experience for you guys, just to bring you along and to show you and to prove that it is my FI and my sensory insecurities that are at the root of this. And if I can delete that for good, then I just want to document how much happier and how life-changing it would be for me. So anyway, that's all the updates that I have for you guys today. I'm curious what you guys think about my new typing results. Obviously, in 2 weeks, Binyamin and his team have a meeting with Dave, which is so exciting, and I can't wait to hear what he thinks. It's so cool how this all happened organically. I started this channel as a way to practice speaking, and then I figured that personality typing is my favorite subject, and so that was just the easiest thing to speak about. When I reached out to a team of typers in Australia that I found on Reddit, I posted their results into the OP Facebook group, and there someone messaged me and said, you need to talk to Binyamin. And now it's all coming full circle, and through Binyamin I am now getting to access Dave and Shan, their thoughts and their expertise. And I think it's so cool how this all just organically happened, and all within the span of 30 days. Well, I guess it would be 35 days now, but how cool, how cool. Let me just insert some NF hippie talk, since I don't get to do that in these one-way blast videos, but I feel like that was really like the universe aligning and everything coming full circle. And it really is like what you put out into the universe, like the universe will play back with you. And I feel like that was such a extremely exciting testament to that. I've always talked about how my end goal was to talk to Dave and Shan so that I can make my own conclusions about this journey and about OP. And I feel like that happened even without me proactively doing it. And so that is so cool. That is so cool. If any of you guys have any requests for me for future videos of topics you want me to cover, anything that will help to type me, I guess, like please let me know. I'd like to collect maybe like a list of 10 questions rather than 10 traditional type of questions. I would love to have just 10 random ask questions from you guys that I answer. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I'll give you a shout. Thanks for watching my ridiculous video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.